we continue our travel back into the past with our next DesignerCon 2017 interview with Stockton, California-based artist Lori Herbst. Lori uses various mediums, including assorted textiles, vinyl upholstery, and stencil backgrounds to create photorealistic sewn portraits. We were impressed with the variety of pop culture references that she uses for her inspiration, from creations based on Johnny Depp's Ed Wood and Mike Colter's Luke Cage, to even the Dick Van Dyke Show. Her artwork has been purchased and enjoyed by many people around the world. It was a pleasure to have her on the Hall H show last year. If you will be going to DesignerCon 2018 this year, please visit her booth. It's booth number 910. Once again, that's booth number 910. She'll be sharing it with fellow artists Huggable Koi and Chris Shary. If you would like to watch the video version of this conversation with Lori, please check out our YouTube channel. We will also have the video on the page for this episode on our site, hall-h.com. On behalf of my co-host Alex Benedicto, I'm Aaron Nabus, and thank you so much for listening. And please remember to support independent creators like Lori Herbst. Welcome back to the Hall H show. We are at DesignerCon 2017, and I'm happy to see that Lori Herbst is here.
Hi.
She's somebody that we met last year, and she does these awesome textile art pieces. Lori, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I guess before we get into your pieces, maybe we can get to know you a little bit better.
Sure.
What was 11-year-old Lori like?
11-year-old Lori was very afraid of the dark. I was afraid of monsters most of the time. I got over that. I really like monsters now, and I was a creative kid. I did a lot of drawing and sewing and that kind of thing since I was a little kid.
Like, what were you into back then?
Gosh, it's hard. It's hard to remember. I did gymnastics and. We did baton, my sister and I. We just did a lot of we lived in Idaho, so we did a lot of camping and, that kind of thing.
One of our good friends, he lived in Boise for a while.
Oh, really? Most of my family's in Boise. Yeah,
he's been trying to get
Jerome, which was a little town with one stoplight.
He's been trying to get us to go out there. So,
you should. Yeah. It's really beautiful.
I think they even have a Comic-Con or a little con over there at Boise.
Yeah, I think they do. It's a pretty good sized town.
Yeah, I hear good things about it.
Yeah.
Were there any like TV shows or movies that you can remember that made a huge influence on your life when you were younger?
I loved cartoons. I loved all kinds of cartoons, and as much as I was scared of everything, I liked scary movies too. I think that's why I just liked. Like Poltergeist really scared me when I was a little kid.
Yeah, me too. That was crazy.
Yeah, but I loved cartoons. I loved Scooby-Doo and Hong Kong Phooey and.
I haven't heard Hong Kong Phooey in like decades.
Hong Kong Phooey's awesome.
I remember last year, speaking of cartoons, you had a piece that you did about the Simpsons piece that I guess Matt Groening had seen,
yeah,
right?
I still have it. It's actually around
okay. Yeah, we'll take a look at it a little bit later. But yeah, that must have been pretty.
That was really exciting. Yeah, he came in and bought one of my sweet mate here, Bonnie, bought one of her koi. And looked up and saw that I've been a Futurama fan for many, many years, and saw that he was really excited about it. So I asked him if he would sign it, and he did.
Okay, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was a highlight, definitely.
Maybe you think he'll be here this year?
Gosh, I hope so. I really hope so. I think he needs to, come back to our booth.
So maybe we can delve into your creative journey from when you were younger, and then how you got to this point. Like, I don't see that many other artists doing what you did.
No, and actually, I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, so I went to school to be an actor.
Okay.
And I was not, I was not cut out to be an actor. So after I had my son, my in-laws bought me a sewing machine just because I was at home, by myself a lot, and my husband had bought me a glitter vinyl bag that was a Mexican wrestling mask. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Like Lucha Libre.
And so I thought, I could probably do that. So I started making bags, and he's a high school teacher, so I started making bags for kids who were really helpful and that kind of thing. And then I got bored with that, so I kind of started to expand. And then there was a Bigfoot benefit up in gosh, I can't even remember where it is. There's
Oregon?
a Bigfoot museum, and they were doing a benefit. So I made a big Bigfoot picture.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and it,
like 8 feet tall, like that.
It was. I think it was about this size. Yeah, I didn't start out too big. But that just kind of got me started, and people were really excited about it. So I decided to do more and more, and kind of that's where it went.
I think there's a market for Lucha Libre masks.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I made a set of masks for a friend of ours that got married. His whole his whole wedding party had on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
So maybe we can talk about your process. I guess we're looking at the star Ziggy.
No, this is Trash from Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, okay.
When she's up there dancing, she takes all her clothes off. And,
So like a piece like that, from start to finish, can you maybe just do like a little highlight of some of the process that you go through?
Sure. I find an image that I'm interested in, and I kind of break it down into, colors, the different kind of colors that I want to do, and then I decide, like on this one, I'll decide what the base is, and just build out from there. So I'll do like the darkest part will be my base color, and then I'll build colors out from there, and I cut it out with an X-Acto blade and spray it with spray glue, stick it on there, and sew that down, and then go to the next piece.
And then from start to finish, what would something like that, how long would that take?
This one took about maybe 25 hours. It depends. As I get better, they go faster. Some of the early ones that I did took a really long time, but now I can make them pretty fast.
Now, and what kind of equipment do you use?
I have a big, if you look up here, it's a Conso sewing machine. So it's a big industrial sewing machine. It's got a great big 18-inch throat so that you can shove all that material through there. And it's got unless you know sewing, you probably won't know this, but it's got a walking foot. So the foot picks up and kind of pulls the fabric back and forth, because if you don't have that, then it'll get stuck on there. The earlier ones I did with just a home machine, and they were hard. It was really hard to do that.
I can imagine, because that material looks really thick.
It is. It's really thick, and some of them have several, like this one probably has 4 layers on there.
Yeah.
So, you'll go through sewing several layers, so you need a really strong machine.
Do you have any advice out there for somebody who may want to partake in this endeavor?
Yeah, actually I do. What I did was I started out looking at stencils. I looked at a lot of Banksy stuff too.
Okay, Banksy.
Because Banksy has that same kind of, if you look at this one, just figuring out a few colors and then doing shapes of it, and that stencil effect is kind of the same thing that I do.
Yeah, we're looking at Johnny Depp's Ed Wood, and the shading on that is just incredible.
Oh, thank you.
So I can see how you would need an industrial level sewing machines to do all the layers.
Yeah, well, and you can get used industrial sewing machines, very inexpensive, but what you really want to do is have somebody who knows machines go through it with you, because it works different than a home deck machine. So
I noticed a lot of, obviously pop culture references.
Yes.
Like, these days, what are you into? What's on your Netflix queue?
Let's see. We just finished Stranger Things 2, just like everybody else.
I think I must have polished it off in like 2 days.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah. It was so good. And I listen to, while I'm sewing, I listen to podcasts, and I went through Mindhunter on Netflix.
I heard good things about Mindhunter.
It's really good, and since I'm working, I'm not really paying attention, so then I can go back and actually see it again and realize what happened. But I whatever's on, I'm usually, like, as long as there's a long series, so it just keeps going and I can keep working in between, I'm pretty good with.
So how do you get your ideas for your next, like, how far in advance do you plan them out?
Usually not too far. If I'm going to be in a specific show, then that's easy. It's just what they want. If I'm doing, what I want to do, usually it's just, what's going on. Like
what's relevant at the time? Yeah,
when Tom Petty died, I felt really bad, so I decided that I wanted to do a tribute to him, and, just... this one was, when I originally did it, was for a show that was doing nudes and that kind of thing, and so I thought she's pretty...
Explain what that piece is again?
It's Trash from Return of the Living Dead, and she is a little punker. She's got looks like a Ronald McDonald wig, and she's really funny, but she's got the leggings on because it's in the 80s, and she gets up there in a cemetery, she gets up and throws all her clothes off.
I don't know why. I thought it was David Bowie doing that.
You know what? That works too. I've done David Bowie before. I think he wouldn't have had a problem with that.
Yeah, for sure. So going forward, what's next for you?
I have a show actually next week at Gallery 1988. They're doing their Crazy for Cult show. And so I have a couple of pieces from Blade Runner in there. Oh, wow. I have Rachel and Deckard. So, and then I have another show coming up at Pacific Coast Gallery in Hermosa on December 2nd. Mm-hmm. So I have some stuff there already, and I'll have some new stuff there. And just getting through Christmas.
I can't believe the end of the year is almost here.
I know. I can't either. It seemed like it went up to October, and then it's just been like, it just zoomed by after that.
One question that we sometimes ask our guests is, what would you do with $1 million?
Let's see. I would pay off my house. I would get we were just in a car wreck, so I would get a new car.
I'm glad you're okay.
It was not my fault, though. I was rear-ended, so at least that's good. But I would get a new car, and I would pay for my son's college, and I would probably invest whatever was left over. I know that's really boring, isn't it? I should I'd get a jetpack or something. That's what I'd do. I'll get a jetpack.
That's pretty good. I just saw a video of somebody doing like a jetpack, and like he crashed into the water. But it was good. Did you see that one video?
No, I want to see that.
He was being interviewed, right? And then right when the cue before him to show him taking off, he like took off and then he plunged into the water. But then he got back up. So it was kind of funny, but like sort of.
I was about 4 or 5 when Evel Knievel jumped the Snake River Canyon in Idaho.
I think I saw old footage of that.
Yeah, so I was there, and you can still go where the ramp is, where he took off, and you can see where he fell down. My dad, one of his friends, pulled him out of the water. So
no way, really?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Evel Knievel. I think. I don't know, for some reason that just made me remember one of Radiohead's songs. It was about Evel Knievel. I think it was called High and Dry, I believe. But speaking of music, what kind of music do you usually listen to when you're in creation mode?
I really listen to more podcasts when I'm working on stuff, because music makes me nostalgic a lot of times. So I'll be thinking about stuff, and then I don't focus very much. My husband does all the artwork for Descendants. He's a punk artist, so we listen to a lot of punk and that kind of thing.
So what kind of podcasts do you listen to?
I listen to all kinds. Right now I'm really into cults. The podcast Cults, and it just talks about all the different weird cults there are out there. And I listen to Stuff You Missed in History Class.
Oh, wow. That sounds interesting.
Oh, it's great. It's so fun. They have one of my favorite episodes is about the founding of Sea Monkeys and how that all happened. And
what?
That guy was nuts. So it's really, and it really does go into stuff that you didn't necessarily know about.
Right.
So, yeah, it's fun.
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
I guess I'll ask you a few more questions. If you had a chance to sort of have a meal with somebody, it could be real or fictional, who would it be, and where would you eat?
Let's see. If I could eat a meal with somebody, And it could be fictional?
It could be fictional.
Okay, so probably Dr. Frankenstein would be a really good one.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, like wouldn't you want to know what was going on in his head?
Which is probably kind of appropriate because next year they're celebrating I think the 200th anniversary of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Wow. Yeah. I think that would be really fantastic. What would we eat? I always like Indian food. So,
ooh, yeah. I love Indian food.
Yeah, and you go to a buffet, you can go back and get more. It's good.
Now that you sort of have a, sort of like a portfolio of work, how do you like stay like focused and like creative and how do you maintain that level of productivity?
My son does virtual school, so he does school from home. So he works and I work, and we just kind of both keep it going. I've been really excited as different galleries and things are getting interested in my work. That makes me really inspired to keep going and doing podcasts with people like you. Make me really excited, and it's just it's really fun to have people, because I do, I have so many people saying I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, it's really unique.
What's that?
It's really unique.
Oh, thank you. I haven't either. Paul Frank, over in the other room, was a big inspiration to me, because I'd see his chairs with
definitely
the monkey and all that stuff on it, and I actually asked him to be in a show a couple years ago, and he was in a show with me, so that was really exciting for me.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I guess we can start wrapping up the show. Is there anything that we missed that you feel our audience should know about? I don't think nothing I can think of. I guess if you want to get involved in using vinyls and that kind of stuff, you can look online, and a lot of times they'll have remnants, and that they'll sell a bolt, and then they'll have a little chunk left, and they'll sell a big box of those in different colors to people, and that's a really great way to get started, because you can get a whole bunch of colors and not have to pay a whole lot of money. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Now, the bulk of your stuff, obviously, when you're trying to get started, you probably go that route. Now, do you still hunt for the remnants?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm a bargain hunter.
Okay.
Totally. Whenever I can, I do, for sure. Yeah.
And do you have any tips for people out there who are trying to sort of bargain hunt?
Tips for them?
Yeah.
Never get anything full price. You can always get stuff on sale. Always look for go to Retail Me Not or whatever and see what, and wait. Stuff does go on sale, so you just have to be a little patient and do a little homework. And, and I also I'll use recycled stuff. Some of the stuff I'll get off of a couch or something like that, and just be creative.
Now, obviously, this is such a very unique medium to sort of create in. Are there any other sort of creative avenues or other things you sort of want to get into in the future?
Who knows? I did, for many years, I did costuming for high school.
Okay.
So I helped them, make Cinderella dresses and that kind of thing, and that was really fun building. I built a giant Audrey 2 puppet, that kind of thing, so that's always fun, but I'm pretty happy with this right now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, keeps me pretty busy.
Yeah, we can't wait to see what else you come up with.
Thank you.
And where can people find you online?
They can find me at Lori B. Herbst at Instagram, or they can go to LoriHerbstArtist.com. If you look me up, you'll probably find me.
Cool.
I'm here and there, bouncing around.
And you're based out of Stockton, I believe.
Stockton,
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
It's good seeing you.
It was really great to talk to you.
And we'll for sure see you again next year.
Good.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Peace, cheers. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.